Okay, we gotta do it really quick because we don't have too much time and there's after party waiting for us. That's right. So I'll tell you a little bit more about profiling and predictive personalization. We did touch those points already. We did touch profiling and predictive personalization in Robert's presentation, and I will show you that. I will show you a demo of it. Live demos, they sometimes don't go well, so hopefully this time it will actually be something of value for you. Okay, let's go ahead. So this is the agenda for today's presentation. I'll tell you a little bit about profiling, what Target did in 2012. Some of you might have heard of it. Then tell you the difference between explicit behavior and implicit behavior, because this is partially what drives personalization. Then tell you what predictive personalization is, mention some of Sitecore terminology for that, and we will go through a demo session, and this is going to be a demo. Steps to configure, setting up profiles and profile keys in Sitecore, profiling content, configuring predefined patterns, and then personalizing components. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, profiling. Not sure if you heard, Target in 2012 had a case where Target started sending out emails to a 15-year-old girl about pregnant products for pregnant women, and the father of that little lady got a little bit pissed, because why would they be attacking his daughter with irrelevant content, right? When she was viewing the page, she was getting plenty of products for pregnant women, and that obviously could have pissed him. Wouldn't it piss you? It would probably. So he got on the phone. He talked to the manager. Manager checked out what the rules were, and then he gets a call from that the father, actually. Asking to not publicize it, or telling him that actually he had some trouble at home finding out that his daughter is actually pregnant. So this is what the Target did in 2012 with profiling, and profiling lets you classify visitors according to their on-site behavior. So this is what Target did in 2012. So every time they browse, every interaction they have with the site makes them fit a certain pattern, and then we can personalize content based on that. And I'll show it to you in a live demo. Explicit behavior, those are all actions that users take themselves. They explicitly tell us something about themselves. If they favorite something, if they like something, this is an explicit action. This is filling out a form, for example, making a purchase, favoriting an item. This is explicit behavior. This is something that we know because they did tell us that. Implicit behavior, on the other hand, is something that they don't tell us, but they act. They go through our pages, they visit our items, they unconsciously, they might be doing it unconsciously, perhaps consciously they would never tell you that they like skiing, but all of a sudden the patterns of the pages that they go through, the paths, everything signals that they do like it. That's why this graphic here, it shows how much of the information we can get from unconscious mind, so from this implicit behavior. That's why predictive personalization and profiling is so crucial. So what is it? What is this predictive personalization? It's, as it says here, the ability to respond in real time to changes in customer needs. Simply put, it's just a dynamic change of the content, components, what user can see on the page, what headline he sees, what graphics he sees, what images he sees, what promotion does this user see, based on the behavior on the page. So based on his path that he is following, based on the items that he's visiting, based on any interaction with the site. Why do we want to do it? We want to do it to increase conversion rates. Increasing conversion rates, you may treat that anything that, let's say, if you want to increase your sales, obviously conversion is when someone who fits your funnel turns into a customer. That's your conversion rate. If your action is to instigate a launch, or let's say a form, filling out a customer form, then your conversion rate is number of people that have actually filled out this form. So conversion rate in this particular case can be any call to action that you want to increase. So if you want to increase that, you can use predictive personalization just to serve the user what he wants, and based on that we assume that if he gets what he wants, he will actually do what we want him to do. So fill out a form, buy whatever. Increased subscription, this is partially covered, so if we want him to subscribe to anything, this is also going to benefit us. Improved click-throughs, if we want him to follow a certain path, we get it. Higher revenue, shortened sales cycle. Shortened sales cycle, obviously when you get what you want, you're more likely to buy it immediately. It's kind of a no-brainer. Okay, and this is a terminology. I won't cover it fully here. I will be covering one by one when I actually do it live. So a profile, a category, a profile key is sort of like an attribute of this profile. Profile card, I'll show it to you. No sense to actually go through it one by one, because it'd be less understandable for you if I do it now. And those are the steps that we are going to go through. Identify who and why. Configure profiles, configure profile cards, profile content. So this is, if we are a content owner of sort, how does it work? Okay, anyways. Okay, cool. Identify who and why. If it's your site, you must do it yourself. You should know it. You should know it. You should have the knowledge to create personas and the like. Configure profiles. We are going to do it in a moment. Then configure profile cards. So we will be assigning values to those profiles. Then profile content. So this is a middle step. So we will go into any Sitecore item, the Sitecore item that we want to profile, assign a profile card to this profile content, then configure predefined visitor patterns. So we will tell Sitecore what we think, what kind of patterns we are trying to find out of the users that are visiting us, and then personalized components that we have on the site. Adjust and optimize, we will not cover it. This is A/B testing and optimization. So we will see reach of every rule that we have, but this is not going to be a part of our presentation. Okay. And let's start. Okay, and I also need one more thing, and this one more thing is my spreadsheet. Okay. Okay, since we know who our users are and why they're coming to us, we will start with profiling. Okay. Okay, so let's go to content editor. System marketing control panel. Profiles. Okay. So first, before we can even produce anything inside of Sitecore, we as marketeers, as content owners, because apparently I'm one, we should go through this spreadsheet. So first we define our profile, visit profile. This is one of the profile keys that we have right now. It is configured in Sitecore. The profile keys that are right now configured in Sitecore are business, couples, duration. Oh, perhaps before we go with that, I'll show you the site itself, so you also understand who the users are, who the potential users are. So this is a site. This is a booking site. We have destinations here. We can book a flight. We see travels that we can buy. And now I'm gonna show you what happens if you fall into a certain category of a profile inside Core. Okay. So I, as a content owner, I define it first. What interests me most? The profile of the user. So I know that we have business people coming to our site, couples. They care about duration, flight duration. Some of them travel with family, so they are more family oriented. They like others like nightlife. They go there often, and they go there for tourism reasons. These are profile keys. So these are attributes of a profile. Stage in the buying cycle, you can do it. You do it exactly in the same way. Advanced sites, they have number of profiles. They may have up to hundreds of those profiles defined, so they can better categorize the viewer. Here we just, for the presentation purpose, we just have enabled personalization based on visit profile. Okay, and then we will assign certain values to each of those. We will create profile cards and assign certain values of keys to each profile card. Okay, then we will profile the content. So now I'm showing you a spreadsheet, but we will be doing that inside of Sitecore. But before this can be done in Sitecore, we must do it here, so we know what we actually want to achieve. And last thing will be creating patterns that this user will fall into, and last will be personalization. Okay. So let's go ahead. Okay, so as you may see here, we have visit profile, and we have profile keys: business, couples, duration, family, nightlife, repeat visit, tourism. What we define here is the minimum and maximum value. It's up to you what you want to choose, so long as it all has actually the same maximum value. It's going to be easy for the engine, Sitecore engine, to calculate what kind of profile you fall into. If you don't have that, then you may have if you use different maximum values on each profile keys, it may skew results, because then when you view the page, those points, those values, they accumulate. So if you have a page that or a profile card that has a different value than you used somewhere else, then it might skew your results. Okay. Oh. Open here, just a sec. So let's go ahead and create business profile card. And the business is, we define who that potential profile is. Bob is a senior executive with his firm and travels 2 to 4 times a month. 45 years old. Okay, and here is his. Here are his values, profile card values. Those points, whenever you visit a page that has this profile card assigned to that page, they will be added to your general profile. So again, when you go and visit another page that has a different profile card attached to it, those points from the other profile card, they will be added. And then Sitecore averages those the value, those values, and you get a sort of a profile of your user. Okay. So the last thing, the last before last, is to define the pattern. So in this case, the pattern for Bob the business traveler is exactly the same, is literally exactly the same as the values in the pattern card. Bob the business traveler are the same as here. So this pattern will be matched if matched if the user, if over the course of his interaction with the site, but will be closely matching the values that are in here. Others, you see that they do differ. So there is a difference here as to what pattern. It's not that only partying profile card will trigger that Patty the party animal pattern card. Okay. Let me open up. I'll show you where to look for. Okay, experience profile. Here is my contact. And right here. So my profile matched, best pattern match is Bob the business traveler. When I go to profiling tab, I see that I viewed pages that matched me 18% with Bob the business traveler. And other patterns that my profile matches also are listed here. So what it means, if I was only viewing pages that have business profile card attached to it, I would have 100% match with Bob the business traveler pattern. But I was viewing also other sites that had other profile cards attached to it, so my profile slightly changed, and here is what it looks like. That's why the best match is Bob the business traveler. Okay, so now let's go to profile content. Okay. Okay, so let's check featured destination. Where is the business person traveling to? It's traveling to New York, obviously, most likely, and London. That's why those two pages, they have a profile card, Bob the Business Traveler. Right? They have this profile assigned to them. London and Paris. All other have Sandy the Sunbather. Yep, Sandy the Sunbather. Rome, Sandy the Sunbather. San Francisco, Sandy the Sunbather. Okay, so I know that let's go perhaps first to personalization, but any time I visit London and New York, I'll collect points, values, that will categorize me as Bob the Business Traveler. Okay, so let's go to personalized content now. Okay. Okay, and let's go ahead and check what personalization do we have on those components. Okay, so I went to a component down here. We'll personalize those three components. I go ahead and launch personalization, and there are two rules. Default is the one that is always there, and there is Bob the Business Traveler. Condition is where the current contact matches the Bob the Business Traveler pattern card in visit profile. So first I check the profile, and then I select a pattern card from this profile. And the second rule tells us where the current visit matches the Bob the Business Traveler pattern card in visit profile. And those are the two differences I was telling about earlier. Pattern. You see here that you can the rule can either check for your visit, so in session, or a visitor. Visitor means that it's going to pull the data from your contact. Visit means that it's going to pull from a current session. So it may be even unknown user that will trigger those rules. Okay. And literally same up here. We might also check out what it will look like when this rule is triggered. The user will get this. I did exactly the same thing with this component. There is also Bob the Business Traveler. Okay, and here Bob the Business Traveler as well. I also added one more, Sandy the Sunbather. So here we have one more custom rule. First Bob the Business Traveler, and then Sandy the Sunbather. So when Bob the Business Traveler will be triggered, we will get same image, but when when the other pattern is going to be triggered, Sandy the Sunbather, we will get a different page, different image, right? So now I told you that the featured destinations that will trigger business profile card are New York and London, and everything else is Sandy will fall into Sunbather profile card. So we know that when we go to, and I'll show it to you right now. When we go to the New York and London page, we will fall into category of Bob Business Traveler. One more thing, I also personalized the carousels, so it also should change carousel image should also change whenever Bob the business traveler profile is triggered. Okay, without further ado, let's check it. Let's check if it works. Okay, so this was our first visit. This is the default site. Florida, Paris, Thailand, Swiss Alps, and standard carousel image. Let's go to featured destinations. Okay. Oh shit. No, okay. Just a moment.
It's working, just thinking.
No, it's triggered experience. Just a sec. Let's change the mode.
You can use it in different browser if you want.
You know what I'll do? I'll do bam. Okay.
If you have a Mozilla Firefox.
Okay. Oops. Okay. So, Thailand, Swiss Alps, Paris, France. Right? Let's go to featured destinations. Let's check out New York page. Then check out London page. Now the pattern was triggered. Hopefully everything works. And bam, the carousel picture changed. And here we see business, only business pictures. And now I still go to featured destinations, but I'm now more interested in Caribbean, Paris, Rome, San Francisco. Venice is also nice for sunbathing. Is Houston nice? I don't know if it's nice.
It's not.
It's not, okay. Okay, and then we go back to main page, and the the images also change again. So now you see Florida, Paris, and this was componentized as well. This was personalized as well, because initially we had a canoe here. We can obviously turn on and off components based on this. The most important thing to do is to properly profile. So you have to create proper patterns. Unfortunately, it's not using machine learning mechanisms, so we have to create that ourselves first. But once we create that, we can do magic. We can trigger any rules. We can apply it to trigger an email, to trigger a campaign, to trigger anything that we have in our control marketing panel tool. And let's open it up for questions. Oh, not too hard though. Don't be too hard on me. Adam, go ahead.
I already have a book. Yeah, all right. So, you asked for it.
I can also
can we actually, because you have been logged in as one user, and yet you were able to trigger two different profiles just by going through the whole content tree. Is there a possibility to prevent that situation, so that one person is not able to trigger two different profiles?
Not able to trigger different profiles. Well, you cannot. You may not have them there. For example, you cannot. Whenever you have visit section, where I showed you, where you're personalizing a component, you may not ever turn that on for a visitor. So then, none of the profiles will be triggered on an item, so on a site, and as a result, none of the parent cards will be triggered. So a normal user that is visiting your site will always get the same content. Not sure if this answered your question.
Well, let's just say that my standard profile is Bob the business traveler, right? But since it's holidays coming up and I want to go with my family on holidays, I'm searching for a good place when there is warm, and suddenly I just fall into the profile of Sandy the sandbatter, right?
Yes.
However, I do not want to be this profile constantly from this point on. I don't want even this to be actually registered, since this is only temporary action from my side. I want to stick to the Bob, the business traveler, and other actions not be registered.
Okay, if it's a non-registered user and you don't have the in visit section under personalizing in engine rule, you don't have that set in the visit section, then none of the rules will be ever triggered. So that's one solution. Although for a registered customer, whenever you visit another site that has different profile cards attached to it, you will accumulate points, and over the course of interactions with the site, you will match a different parent card. This is the whole purpose of it.
How I understand, the question was like, what the weight will have these points? How quickly my profile will change back to previous?
Okay, so this is it works that way. When you visit a site, and this site has a profile card attached to it, you accumulate those points that were in I as a content owner, I set in a profile card. The next time you visit other page that also has profile cards, you add it. Sitecore adds those values, right? And then if you did only 2 visits, it will divide by 2. So it will sum it up and divide by 2. Then what it does, I'll show you perhaps this. This. Let's say you visited pages that had business and party. So what Sitecore does, it's summing it up, these values, right? And then dividing. Let's do that. Let's do that here. Okay, so supposedly you visited business and party. This is sum, and let's divide it by 2. Okay, so now this is what your profile will show. If you visited only those 2, then you go to parent cards, and these are your parent cards. Let's copy and paste from here. To here. Oops. Values. There you go. Okay. So now what Sitecore does, Sitecore checks which profile it matches best. How it does it? Probably some sort of average. not quite 100% sure, but it will tell you that since you have 5 here for business, you have 1.5 here, 5.5 here, 2 here. It will probably it will do so. It will average it in some way and tell you, okay, you're matching Bob, Patty, the party animal, in this many %, and the one that is the closest match will be triggered.
Okay,
It is
but
possible to have. Sorry, excuse me.
I want a cup.
Sorry, you go ahead. I can give you mine.
We still have a nice mug here, so this definitely will go.
Okay, I want a mug.
So it is possible to have a completely different pattern assigned by averaging. So let's say I have Bob the business traveler and Sandy the sunbather, and by assigned points, of course, let's say by mistake of the contact owner, person who did these profiles, the average may actually match me in the third profile. That is not mine, actually.
Yeah, it is possible. In the row 11, if you add Adam and you put 5, 1.5, 5.5, 2725,
If content, yes, if content owner didn't do a good job, so if they profiled users not well, so if they didn't think up front about what patterns their users might fall into, and they wrongly profiled content, then it is likely that you will fall into a wrong category. But that it's not learning. This mechanism is not learning how users go through the site and based on that profile the user. It's you first who has to define it, and then those users fall into certain categories.
Marek, so am I correct that profile is not attached by a particular user? It's like a screenshot of expected user.
A screenshot? What do you mean? Screenshot?
I mean that it is like a description of expected user. So the person who will visit this site, yeah?
Yes.
It's more like an archetype.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
So the question previous, especially mine, was like how this profile affect your previous history. So
Okay.
if this profile has some weight or not,
Okay.
or your history will be completely overwritten by one visit to incorrect site.
No. It is gathering those points constantly. If you are a registered user, right, then next time you do a visit, it will be stored in XDB, and it will still average those new pages that you're checking. Not sure if it answered your question, but it does account for history, because if you are a registered customer, registered user, the whole history matters. If it's a singular visit, next time you come visit, then it's gathering those points from it starts over.
And one small question: how long this history saving contains in Sitecore?
Okay, so as far as I know, it is always there, and it takes now with these settings. I think it takes 5 minutes to push data from what I'm viewing to XDB, but it can be changed. Łukasz, right? Can I think we can change? Yes.
The default timeout is 20 minutes.
Default time is 20 minutes, but it can be changed how quickly the data from the browsing will end up being put on the XDB.
I have a question. For example, let's say that we've got information from our customer that he has got completely wrong commercials or something like this. So can we reset his profile or something like this?
That is a good question, and I don't know the answer to that question. I believe that it can be done, probably with some XDB reset.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's. But as far as the tools go, Sitecore tools, I haven't seen a possibility to reset the profile. We can check in the user manager if there is any reset.
Even if you could create additional profile and name it Bob the Business Traveler 2, for example.
No, but what Marcin is asking is, for example, someone, for example, I've been using my account, and all of a sudden, and I'm passing my account to, let's say, my friend. My friend is using the account now, but he is incorrectly profiled because my history will affect what he sees. And we will not be able to reset this profile because he is using my account. So I think this is the case, right? Yeah. So in that case, probably reset of the data in XDB will solve the issue. Or perhaps we can ask on a Slack channel. They might know the answer.
I don't think there's any supported way to do it.
Yes.
I think you can go hack the data.
Yes, you definitely can go hack the data, but I haven't seen any trigger button to reset the profile. It does it by itself. And how it matches, I haven't found any information on that. And we had actually discussion about this with Patrick today, how it matches those numbers. How does the calculation actually look like? Because from those, what Sitecore translates it to is to percentage values. So Sitecore will tell you that this kind of profile matches Bob, the business traveler, in 18%, and the party animal in 16%. So it has to do. Probably it's just average, but I haven't seen a calculation how to actually do it. Okay,